Man, it was brutal finding out that my channel got terminated for being 2 months too young. It wiped me out. I had quite the temper tantrum, not gonna lie. Well, I was told that I handled it pretty well, but I did kind of, what word do I use? Throw a temper tantrum in my room. So, it was a little bit brutal, no big deal though. I mean, I have my channel booted back up again, and now I even have this podcast that you're listening to right now. Of course, I haven't exactly experienced every franchise, so sometimes I'll have guests in my episodes to help me out. You know, someone who has experienced the franchises themselves, you know? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, you do. That's kind of what my goal is here, you know? So no big deal. What's up, everybody? I'm Mr.L, aka Minecraft. Today we're going to go over the Young Avengers in this very episode. So take a seat, grab some popcorn if you have any, and we'll enjoy the ride of seeing what movies of Phase 4 in the Marvel franchise have led us up to this point, you know? So anyway, I've made a few upgrades to my podcast since my first and second episodes. In my first one, I had only the single recording. In my second one, I had this segment, what I called the elephant in the room, that absolutely no one was talking about. Well, if I'm being honest, I didn't exactly know what the meaning elephant in the room was, so I just kind of used it out of context. So, instead, I'm calling the segment the thing that absolutely no one's talking about. Now, in this episode, I'm going to be having a guest help me out with this episode. And while I still have a sponsor on the hook, I do have a sponsor on the hook, and there's a very good chance that I could have them sponsor me. Of course, again, I'm not going to be going over any names until I actually have it. Of course, there's a chance I might not get it for another long while, but that's okay. That's okay as well. No need to rush things. Anyway, for me, it's about the middle of the day. But I have a guest here today, but I'm kind of having him wait to talk for a little bit until this segment is over, okay? And I've set up a big cushion area by my door to drown out any background music. I mean, it might not drown out completely, but it's the best I could have done, you know? So today we are going over the Young Avengers, but for the subject absolutely no one is talking about and no one expects for today, I'm only going to do this one time, maybe twice, maybe thrice, but there's this podcast called Remember the Game, a retro gaming podcast where the host, Blank, has a guest come up with him and talks about whatever games drove him crazy and mad, or whatever games brought his kid self out or something like that. I don't know. But he does this thing called Play One, Remake One, Erase One. Well, I decided to go with three. Games that I've added to the poll of my last episode. If you had that's a different poll. Anyway, if you had to, okay, and the three games I selected for this type of thing is Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, and Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. All Legend of Zelda alike. Now, personally, I haven't exactly gotten any responses or reviews or anything, so I'd just say what my answer would be. My answer to that would be replay Majora's Mask, because that's a flippin' good game. I mean, it's more enclosed than the other two games. So the side quests are easier to find and easier to complete and such. And you get special masks that are super cool and they let you transform and stuff. I would give almost anything to be able to transform into animals. I mean, that is such a flippin' cool power. For a remake, I'd go with Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. I mean, people have been waiting for that for years. Since it came out on the N64. Then came re-released on the GameCube. Then came re-released on the GameCube with its Master Quest version. Then came the 3DS remake, along with the Majora's Mask 3DS remake. Some things changed, so I had a little bit of a harder time finding my way around, like figuring out what side quests had changed and how. So I'd remake Ocarina of Time, and with if I could, I'd add a Skulltula finder. A Skulltula finder. So when you're in different, once you've collected your first 20, you gold Skulltulas. There's 100 gold Skulltulas. So you could have this reminiscing crystal that tells you that tells you how many gold Skulltulas are in that area, in Kakariko Village, or the Hyrule Field, or even Lon Lon Ranch. So that is what I would do if I could remake Ocarina of Time. Okay, so we have play Majora's Mask and remake Ocarina of Time. That just leaves Wind Waker to be erased. I mean, yeah, it's certainly a good game, but it's also pretty complicated. I mean, the fairy fountains, they're easy to find, but there's also conditions you need to, there's also things you need to have in order to get through. So it's a little annoying. So you need to have a hammer. Sometimes you're at the fairy fountain and just as you're about to go in to the island, you can't because you don't have that item. And another thing, there's treasure charts for a lot of stuff, mostly pieces of parts, but also rupees. I mean, there's so many. There's so flippin' many. So I would array, and there's complications. You have to find the Triforce pieces. You also have to learn songs to help you out with the Wind Waker conducting baton. You need to help people out. You have to do a lot more side quests than in other games, I think. And the only thing you can gain from those side quests are simple rupees or just pieces of hearts. I mean, pieces of hearts are pretty good, but I'm not gonna lie. And so are rupees, but I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes it's just a waste of time. I have to say that out loud. I'm sorry. So for me, it's replay Majora's Mask, remake Ocarina of Time, and erase Wind Waker from time forever. I mean, seriously, I probably wouldn't even miss it. Anyway, yeah, that's kind of what I'd do, but I still have a lot on my plate, and so I mean, I've already done 2 episodes, one about the Kirby franchise and one about the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise and the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 movie. I'm thinking of doing one on the on the Super Mario Brothers movie too, but that's not probably coming out till like 2026, and it's only 2024 now. So I haven't exactly made up my mind yet. Okay, but I have seen that some people have watched have listened to my podcasts. But remember, I also have a YouTube channel, Mr.L Ludwig, where I do gaming walkthroughs. So far, I'm having a bit of trouble finding all my recordings and stuff, so I'm having a bit of trouble here. Yeah, but don't worry, I will get to it, and I will get to it, and I will be able to, and I will catch up, because after my channel got terminated, it's just been hard trying to catch up. I mean, I haven't had any time. I've been searching for my recordings and what to find out what I'm missing. So I'm having a hard time catching up with all the videos I have. I mean, right before my channel got terminated, after I finished Luigi's Mansion 3, I did a full game walkthrough on a one video full game walkthrough on Sonic Forces. And not only that, I also did a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate live stream. All of that is down the drain, and I can't do another Super Smash Bros. Ultimate live stream till the year that transfers into 2025, which is this year. It's gonna take months, and it's already March for me. So I'm gonna wait like a little while until I can do anything at all. You know, I've been way behind, and I have to release all my Bowser's Fury videos again. I also have to do 3D World, Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe, Luigi's Mansion 3, which I might not release until my Halloween special, till October again for my Halloween special, you know. And so I have a lot on my plate. I have my Luigi's Mansion 3, which I may not re-release until I'm not going to post any of the Luigi's Mansion 3 videos. I might have to, might not, but I may put in the playlist that Halloween time is recommended for watching the videos, you know. Okay, so just wanted to say that, you know, just to say that. So, yeah. So I have a lot to post, and Super Mario Galaxy took me a whole long time. It took me a really long time to complete. I mean, I would post some videos in the same day, but they were very long videos. So, especially Super Mario Galaxy, I would try to do at least 5 power stars per video, and I'd have like, I haven't even done Grandmaster Galaxy. I'm going to have to do that after Luigi's Mansion 3. I promise. I will record Grandmaster Galaxy as both Luigi and Mario. Okay? Okay? Just so you know. That's what I'm doing to end off my Super Mario Galaxy. I mean, I know I have done a lot, but listen, I've only started like 2 years ago, and I'm still kind of amateuristic. I think I made up that word. I'm still kind of amateuristic, so I'm kind of figuring out my way as I go along. Of course, I do have another YouTuber who is kind of helping me out through my struggle here. I think he has a podcast too. He does Matrix Online, so he's actually going to be one of my guests. Not for this episode, but like for my next video episode. So you know. So I mean, I'm going to take a drink of water, and I think I'm going to take a drink of water, play some Super Mario 64 music, and when I get back, and play some Super Mario 64 music, and when I get back, we will finally talk Young Avengers. Okay? Love you. Bye. Okay, yeah, I admit I have. I just Just a minute, sorry. Sorry, I accidentally pressed the recording button. But I needed an excuse for putting on the Super Mario 64 music right before, okay? And we're back. Okay, so time for my guest to be introduced. He is also the one who leads the sponsor I have the hook on, and he's also one of the biggest fans of the live action anime The Matrix. And he also just so happens to be my dad. Vesuvius Matrix Online. Okay, so
Hi.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
Thank you for coming. So you know more about the Avengers. You know more about the Marvel series, or at least more than I know, and ever since I put on that Iron Man movie, I kind of just went through the entire timeline. So, what are your thoughts? I mean, on who could be there? I mean, so far, on how we've gotten into Phase 4.
Well, yeah, so we started watching all of the Marvel movies back when we were all locked down for COVID. So we started to go through, I think we went upon release. So, like, Iron Man was the first movie.
Yeah,
And then, I can't remember what was next. Might have been Thor.
Right.
And then Iron Man 2. And we basically went in release order.
Yeah.
So I think that all of the Young Avengers are going to be some variation of our original, maybe 6 Avengers. So that was Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, Black Widow, Captain America, and Hawkeye.
Right. So I know that we definitely have Kate Bishop as Hawkeye, right?
Yeah, she was introduced in the Hawkeye series.
Right, and at the end of She-Hulk Attorney at Law, Hulk came back with his son. So we could see Hulk's son in there, right?
That's right. There's 2.
Yeah,
Black Widow's sister was introduced to kind of take over, since Black Widow technically died in Infinity War.
Endgame, actually, where...
Sorry, Endgame.
Yeah, she did sacrifice herself for the Soul Stone.
And I don't know if she'll be in the Young Avengers. She's probably going to be in a different team of villains.
That makes sense. That really does. What about the heroes outside of the original 6? Like, how about Wanda's kids, Billy and Tommy, or Wiccan and Speed, as I've heard new rock stars describe them as? Is there a possibility that we could see them? I mean, the chances are kind of slim after the leading events of Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. So what are your thoughts?
Well, they've been introduced, even though they weren't technically real when we met them in the WandaVision series.
Yeah.
But Wanda is searching for them, and with all of the universe hopping, it's likely that they're all going to come together and be in a team up at some point.
Right. Now, I just want to make a quick note off of that. In Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, the girl's name is America. She had two moms and had the power to jump between the multiverse. On Disney Plus, there's this mini side area of Marvel called Marvel Rising, where it's kind of like the Young Avengers almost. It features heroes starting with Miss Marvel and her friend Squirrel Girl. I mean, I've literally never heard of her up until I watched that series. So, uh, uh and we also have Ironheart, Ghost Spider. Uh, I believe Falcon was there. Um,
Yeah, I think Falcon is gonna lead the new Avengers, not particularly the young Avengers, but yeah, he would be the alternate Captain America.
right, and so there is a chance that we could see America in the Young Avengers, and that Falcon, as the new Captain America, will lead the new Avengers in Avengers Kang Dynasty, right?
I think they might have changed the name of the next Avengers movie
Right. Okay.
because the actor who is playing Kang got into big trouble.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I think that they're going to replace him as Kang, and they're going to change Kang's role in like moving forward. So he'll be a bad guy, he'll be an antagonist, but he won't be the big bad.
That makes sense. Yeah. What about Cassie Lang?
Yeah, Ant Man's daughter. She's got her own suit and she's got some superhero experience, and she's super smart.
Right.
So she could definitely contribute to a young Avengers team.
That definitely makes sense. Yeah. Uh, but the bigger picture is that in the Young Event at the end of the Marvels, it was shown that Kamala was meeting with Kate Bishop about having her join the Young Avengers and assembling a team with Captain Marvel. On that note, in Marvel Rising, Captain Marvel actually visits the Secret Warriors from time to time, leading guidance, I want to say, but I'm not exactly sure. Uh, what word do you think I should use?
Yeah, as an advisor.
Yes, an advisor. That makes total sense. Yeah.
Well, so who else do we have? We have Ironheart. She's kind of the new Iron Man.
Right, but we haven't even seen the trailer for her movie or even a teaser. So, so we might not see a Young Avengers trailer either until after Ironheart gets released.
Do we know when Young Avengers is going to be released? Is that in the Marvel timeline?
That personally I don't know, but I think it may come out in either late phase 4 or early phase 5, but it's probably going to be a little late phase 4 because at the end of the Marvels, that's kind of the hint to show that kind of is the hint to show that the Young Avengers is going to be coming out sooner or later. So probably late phase 4. Yeah.
I'm trying to find one of those graphics where they have all of the upcoming projects in like a timeline. Trying to do some on the spot research.
Well, I
Search.
never really search fandom because I have to go through the whole website looking for what I'm looking and I can't exactly find it. So it gets a little complicated. I just look from where the search bar takes me.
Oh, this one is out of date, but it's got Blade. Okay, so after Loki season 2 and the Marvels, we were supposed to get Blade, Ironheart, Agatha, Coven of Chaos, and I think they changed the subtitle to that. Daredevil, which I think got delayed. Captain America, and they did change the name of that. It was New World Order, and now it's Brave New World.
Huh.
And then a project called the Thunderbolts, which is supposed to be like a team of anti-heroes.
Oh yeah, like I can only remember the one, and I think it was Ghost from Ant-Man and the Wasp. Am I not correct? Am I not correct here?
Who is it?
Ghost, the girl.
Oh, from Quantumania?
No, not from Quantumania. The movie before Quantumania, like where her father and mother get caught in an accident, but she survived somehow,
Mm-hmm.
and she has these quantum particles that has her go through matter like a ghost. So hence the name Ghost. So we could be seeing her in the Thunderbolts, but that's not what this episode is about. It's about, I mean, I this is a Young Avengers. This is the Young Avengers episode, but What's Up and What's Next is supposed to feature a Nerds franchise review podcast for what's up in the franchise and what's could be coming. And sometimes we fixate on one subject or not, and other times we add different subjects that line up in the same group, like in a Venn diagram. Yeah. So like you know, oh, oh, I can't think of anyone else who would be in the Young Avengers. But who do you think the bad guy would be? Is there?
For Young Avengers? Well, I'm not sure. I mean, there's so many characters, but wouldn't it be cool if Spider-Man was the villain?
I mean that's actually not a bad guess. Um, I've seen in the Marvel series, I've seen in the Marvel franchise that in more ways than one, Ghost Spider is actually a bit of a criminal to our own father. So there is a small chance, there is a bit of a minimum chance that Spider-Man could be a villain in it. I mean, less. I'm just saying, less or more or less, you know. So that could be a good theory. That is something to think about. Uh,
Because nobody knows who he is anymore. So
right.
what if he's still a wanted man, and the Young Avengers are like, oh well, he's young, so we could, if we just team up, we could take him down. But then, we can get like a massive fight scene between all of the new Avengers, the Young Avengers, and Spider Man, and then Spider Man ends up kind of leading them towards the end.
That 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 kind of fixates on how Marvel kind of goes when you think about it. Yeah, that's very well thought out, Dad.
Well, thank you. Who do
Okay.
you think's the villain gonna be?
It's hard to think about. I mean, there's a lot of villains in the Marvel universe, and most of them have come up and also died. So there's not many options left when you think about it. So, uh, I mean, there is a chance that we could see Venom at the end of Spider-Man No Way Home. There was a bit of venom ooze left out after the host disappeared. So, what are the chances of that? Like, or is it like at a minimum or?
I think it's at a minimum. There's still a lot of stuff that has to be worked out between the Sony company and Disney Marvel, uh, regarding which characters can appear in which movies. So it might not happen uh, in the next year, but beyond that, we have to think about, they're already making movies that are going to come out next year. So if they in 6 months, if they decide Venom can appear in a Disney Marvel movie, it's going to be too late for them to put him into a movie that they're making now. It would have to be in something that's coming up.
I almost understand that, but I'm not completely fixated on the idea. what? I mean, I kind of get it, you know. So.
Well, they would have to stop, and they would have to stop producing the movie, and then go back and change stuff to put Venom in, and then it would delay the movie. It'd have to come out later because they would have more work to do to get it ready for the movie theater.
I do understand that. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Okay, how do you think the backstories could kind of be for joining? I mean, we saw Kamala Khan with Kate Bishop, so how do you think, if there is still a chance that Belly and Tommy are going to be in there, how do you think it's going to go? Do you think that their mother dies somehow? Do you think that their Wanda dies somehow, and uh, and America brings them into that universe, and the three of them kind of all join together?
Well, I don't think that they're gonna kill the Scarlet Witch quite yet. I think she still has a lot of story to tell. She hasn't even reached full power yet, and there's gonna be an Agatha um, series coming out pretty soon, and she's gonna have something to do with that. I think if her kids come back, it's gonna have something to do with America Chavez. Maybe trying to appease the Scarlet Witch by bringing her children.
But it'd have to be a version of Billy and Tommy that lost their mother, just as the Wanda Maximoff that we know created her children, but they weren't real, so she lost them.
Well, it doesn't have to be, especially if she can go to any point in time in any universe. I'm not sure that that's her powers, but she could take them on a Tuesday afternoon, bring them to another universe, and then just bring them back to the moment that they left. Just like they tried to do with the Infinity Stones.
That makes a lot of sense. Except I can see that there's kind of a flaw in that type of plan, because you know how in Endgame, when they snapped, well, the past Nebula actually spied as the future Nebula and brought Thanos, so that could have really messed up the entire timeline. Although from where we at, we know that it didn't somehow. Which means that in the multiverse there are probably some other versions of how the story goes. Like maybe they failed somehow, or I'm just spitballing here,
Mm-hmm.
but how do you think how do you think the I mean, if there was a what if episode in season 2 that actually said what if Thanos won at the end game, in the end game in Endgame, like he said that he was going to disintegrate the universe down to its last atom and recreate it all in the same second. For the Avengers not to be there, they to tell them that what happened, and for the universe to live differently. How do you think it kind of would have gone? Do you think that would have ended more in a catastrophe than Thanos had pictured, or?
Well, boy, that's a tough one because wouldn't Thanos have to destroy himself as well? He would have done it because he would have sacrificed to have a new universe. So I think it would take so long for the new universe to repopulate to where they have special beings again.
Yeah.
So yeah, we would really have to change the setting of the movies, or maybe even go to a different universe and follow other heroes.
That's not the answer what I was expecting, but it did sound like the right answer as well. Do you kind of know what I mean?
I think so. I mean, I'm just guessing. I don't really know the right answer.
I guess none of us does when you think about it. Uh, how do you think? Uh, so I mean, if there's another let's jump deeper into the multiverse from where we are. I mean, we know at the end of Marvel's What If season 2 that the Watcher brought Peggy Carter to the Tree of Life shaped multiverse that Loki had created. So it's possible that she could have a bigger movie debut than in Multiverse of Madness, where Wanda kills Peggy by throwing the shield back at her. So there's a very good chance that Peggy could make her a higher debut, not
Debut?
a higher debut in the Marvel franchise than we actually could have thought, you know?
You think they'll use her as Agent, what,
Captain Carter.
Captain Carter?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, because there's another character called Captain Britain, who I think is related to her. But, yeah, Captain Carter. So you think they'll use her as Captain Carter in an upcoming movie?
I don't know yet, but I was just spitballing. But there is a very good chance that she could take a higher stand in the Marvel franchise than we actually could have thought. I mean, first she started out as just another reality. Then the Watcher picked her to, along with all the other heroes, to fight Ultron. Then she fought the Hydra Stomper. Then she was traveled to another universe to fix time itself, and then Strange picked her up and nearly tried to sacrifice not only the universe destroyers but also the heroes, some heroes as well. So and after Strange and after Strange Supreme died and his universe came back, Peggy and the Watcher, they went up to the core of the multiverse itself, Loki's Tree of Life shaped multiverse. I mean, look at me, I can barely put two sentences together in this entire thing. I this is why I asked for you, Dad, because you're actually helping me more than I actually thought you would, because you know more of the Marvel than I actually do, because you know.
Because I've seen the movie so many times.
Yes. Now, let's jump into Marvels real quick. At the end of the Marvels, there was a bonus end credit scene where Monica woke up with her mom and the X-Men Beast. So Monica and her mom are both alive, and the X-Men are taking care of her in a jump space of some kind. So, what do you think they could make out of it besides the returning X-Men 97 series, animated series?
Oh boy, I actually didn't see that,
Oh,
but I know that they teased Beast, and Beast is going to be in X-Men '97, and that's coming out pretty soon. I think that we should go back and watch the other X-Men cartoons, or at least the first season. But
that's actually a good idea.
Yeah, because we could always talk about it here.
Yeah.
And so they're going to have all of those X-Men from the other X-Men movies probably cross over in the big Secret Wars Avengers movie.
But Secret War is already passed, as Nick Fury being the main protagonist.
Wars, or is it? No, that was Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion, right? And
with Secret the Skrulls. Secret Wars is supposed to be where all of these superheroes battle each other.
Right.
And they're going to be bringing the Fantastic Four in, and also the X-Men.
What
So
about
we're going to get like a whole bunch more superheroes.
what about Agatha? I mean, we saw that she's going to have 2 movies of her own. Will she be the protagonist or antagonist?
She's going to have a movie? I thought she was just going to have a couple of episodes, six or 8 episodes in her series.
I'm sorry, now I'm confused. I thought Agatha Covet of Darkness and Agatha House of Harkness, I thought those were movies, not series. My mistake.
No, that's the one series, and they changed the title of it. It was House of Harkness, and then it was Coven of
Darkness.
Darkness, yeah. So it's going to be one series, and they might even change the title another time. But
will she even?
I think what she's going to do is she's going to bring back the Scarlet Witch to try and steal her power, and then end up. Well, I don't really want to guess because I don't want to ruin it for you in case I'm right. But I think it'll have something to do with the Scarlet Witch's power level.
That makes sense because at the end of WandaVision, she had a hold of the dark hold, but in Multiverse of Madness, it got destroyed, and the temple itself was actually a second dark hold to Wanda. So there's a very good chance that Wanda will be coming back because as we've seen, she could have killed herself or she could just be in suspended animation on the mountain. Either way, I can't wait to see how and if she comes back. Personally, she's one of my favorite Marvel characters.
The Scarlet Witch?
Yeah.
How come?
I don't know.
Is it because when she started out she was very young and now she's super powerful?
I guess that kind of sums it up, yeah.
Did you notice that her accent changed from one movie to the next?
I did actually notice that, yeah. I did. Yeah. Okay. I hate awkward silences. Okay.
Well, let's wrap it up.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up for this episode, everybody. I mean, we've went over a lot of stuff in what's happened so far in the Marvel Universe's first parts of Phase 4, and I'm excited for what the rest of Phase 4 brings out and what the beginning of Phase 5 brings as well. Are you just as excited as I am, Dad?
I like a lot of stuff they did in Phase 4. I like that they're just trying different things, even though they don't all hit the same way that Endgame hit, like She-Hulk. But it was a fun series. I overall liked it. I can't wait for Daredevil. I can't wait for all of it. I'm excited. It's fun to see how they're gonna adapt the comics to movies, and they're in the first 3 phases they did a really good job of bringing all the heroes together and making it so that every character contributed to the story. So it's going to be hard for them to do that moving forward, but if anyone can do it, it's Feige, the man in charge.
Right. I actually want to leave us off with one more note. You know how at the end of Miss Marvel, she and her friend actually discovered that the bangle unlocked a mutation?
Yes.
Well, I know that in the comics there was this green gas and she was encased in a cocoon and she released as being able to shapeshift human form and have stretchy powers. Well, in this one she's able to manipulate light and turn it into matter, kind of as Monica spoke in the Marvels.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a very good chance that we could dig even deeper into the mutation in the Marvel series. Besides the fact that in Marvel Rising, there's a bunch of Inhumans on the ship at the end, and then they all these aliens released the green gas to find the Inhumans, and a lot were found and were released at the end. Although the last two minions actually started killing all the Inhumans, but until the Secret Warriors got to it. So just leaving that note off at the end of this episode. Thank you so much for joining me, Daddy-O.
Thank you for having me.
I hope you can join me again for my Matrix Online one, but that's not actually my next one. My next podcast episode is actually going to be on the latest Nintendo releases, which are the game remakes and such. I hope you all look forward to that. Thank you very much.
Where can we find it? On
YouTube? No. You actually. Oh, wait, what?
Where can we find more of your stuff?
Well,
besides Spotify, what else?
Well, I haven't exactly expanded that far. Of course, I have left a link on my YouTube channel, Mr.L, where I do gameplay walkthroughs. Although I'm never caught up, don't judge me.
Is it at Mr.L Games?
Yeah, actually.
Okay, that's what we gotta tell everybody.
Yeah, so I have a YouTube channel on YouTube, Mr.L. I do gaming walkthroughs. I can never catch up with everyone, with all the popular YouTubers. I hope you look me up. Thanks for listening to this episode. Now for me, it's a little bit tiring. I've got to get a little bit of rest. Thank you everybody for listening. Goodbye.